Dear friends and my students, today I am taking your chapter number 6, Life Process for class 10th. All living things perform certain life process like growth, excretion, respiration and circulation. And this keep them alive because if you compare a living thing with non-living things, then non-living things does not have growth, excretion, digestion, respiration, circulation. So life process need a continuous supply of energy. All these processes like your respiration, digestion, which together keep the living organism alive and perform the job of body maintenance. Whatever process are going on in our body to keep the living organism alive and perform the job of the body to maintain it is called life process. So we can say life process, growth, digestion, respiration, circulation and excretion are the main things present in living organism. First of all, we will see a unicellular like amoeba. It is in touch with the atmosphere or in surroundings. So it is a unicellular and it can directly absorb everything from its surrounding. But multiple cellular organism like human being or many other are there. So their body, the external skin is exposed to the nature, but others are not exposed. So it cannot absorb the things from surroundings, so it need a certain type of process for digestion, for respiration, for circulation and for excretion. Special type of process are needed and all these processes are called life process. So first we will see the nutrition. The whole process by which an organism obtains its food can be considered as nutrition. Nutrition in plants. Plants are autotrophs. All green plants are autotrophs and they can make their own food. But if we see on other hand, nutrition in animals, animals are heterotrophs. They do not produce their own food. Depends on plants or other animals for their food. On the basis of this, we can understand the modes of nutrition. First is the autotrophic nutrition. Kind of nutrition in which organic material. Kind of nutrition in which organic materials like carbon dioxide, water are utilized to prepare organic food by the process of photosynthesis, which you know very well. All green plants have chlorophyll and carbon dioxide, water and some other inorganic materials are required to perform the function of photosynthesis. So whatever plant or unicellular animals performing photosynthesis can be considered as autotroph. Other's hand, heterotrophic kind of nutrition in which organisms do not possess the ability to synthesize their own food. They depend on autotrophs for their food supply directly or indirectly. Now, autotrophic nutrition. In autotrophic nutrition, autotrophs use simple inorganic materials and convert this into complex high energy molecules. The simplest one is the carbohydrate. Autotrophic nutrition is the process in which autotroph takes in carbon dioxide and water and convert these into carbohydrates in the presence of chlorophyll, sunlight, and this whole process is known as photosynthesis. So equation is very clear. 6 carbon dioxide CO2 plus 12 H2O. In the arrow you can write sunlight and chlorophyll. They gives C6H12O6 plus 6 oxygen and 6 H2O. Raw materials for photosynthesis is well known. Sunlight, chlorophyll, sunlight absorbed by the chlorophyll, carbon dioxide enters through stomata and oxygen is released as byproduct through the stomata on leaf. Water is absorbed from the soil by the roots. So it dissolves minerals like nitrogen, phosphorus, etc. are taken by the roots and taken up to the leaves. Site of photosynthesis, very well known. Site of photosynthesis, chloroplast in the leaf. Chloroplast contain chlorophyll, that green pigment, and that is the site of photosynthesis. Now, what are the main events which are taking in photosynthesis? Absorption of light energy by chlorophyll. When plant is kept in the sunlight, it absorbs light energy and that is absorbed by the chlorophyll. The second, conversion of light energy into chemical energy. Light energy is converted into chemical energy and then splitting of water into hydrogen and oxygen. So first light is absorbed by chloroplast, then this chloroplast, the light energy changes into chemical energy, and in this way the water molecule is split into water, hydrogen and oxygen. Then this carbon dioxide which is absorbed or which came into the plant through the stomata is reduced to the carbohydrates. So 3 main steps are there in photosynthesis. Now, what and how stomata works? Tiny pores present on the surface of leaves are known as stomata. Exchange of gases takes place through this. Oxygen is released outside and carbon dioxide is taken in. Loses large amount of water vapors during transpiration. When sunlight is there and photosynthesis is going on, at that time along with oxygen, large amount of water vapor is given out. So stomata, if you see the structure, it has 2 guard cells. And these 2 guard cells are surrounded with the other chloroplast cells, and when guard cells has to open, it absorbs water from the surrounding cells and swells. And during the swelling, the pore opens. And when guard cell has to release the water to surrounding cells, then it closes the pore of the stomata. Now, heterotrophic nutrition. That was about the photosynthesis, that is autotrophic. Now heterotrophic nutrition, it is classified into 3 parts: holozoic, saprophytic and parasitic. Holozoic, animals take in solid food and break down inside the body, like amoeba. Amoeba extends its pseudopods and make a vacuoles. It absorbs it and then releases the enzymes to digest that food, and it absorbs the digested food, and unwanted food is thrown out by the pseudopod. That is the holozoic. Now saprophytic, organisms feed on dead decaying matter. When dead decaying matter is the food, then that organism which absorb the organic decaying matter by releasing the digestive enzymes on them, and then it absorb it. That is, the organism feed on dead decaying matter. Example is fungi, that is the saprophytic. Then comes the parasitic. Parasites live inside or outside our body or other organism on which it lives. That organism is called the host and derive nutrition from it. You might have seen yellow thread-like structure on the trees in your park, and these all thread-like structures are Cuscuta plant. They are parasitics. Ticks you may see on the cats, rats, and sometime on the animal body. Leeches found in the water bodies, and that absorb or sucks the blood from our body. So how do organisms obtain their food? That is amoeba and paramecium we will see first in the singular cellular unicellular animals. That is very clear. In amoeba, pseudopods extends towards the food. It captures the food and taken in the form of food vacuole, digest it, and undigested food is thrown out by the vacuole, by the pseudopods. In paramecium, there are cilia present outside the body that moves the food towards the opening and take it inside the body, and at a specific spot, that mouth, we cannot say that mouth, but that specific opening is there, and through that opening the food goes into the body of paramecium, and that is utilized, at first change into digested by the digestive enzymes, and then it is absorbed. Nutrition, further we can say, in the nutrition what is happening? Ingestion. Then ingestion means intake of food. Then this food is digested, break down by complex material into simple ones, that is digestion, and then it is absorbed. So absorption, movement of digested food, and then assimilation, utilization of that absorbed food, and finally egestion, removal of waste products outside the body. Different organisms utilize different nutritional process as it depends upon the source of carbon from where the food is taken. Now, if we consider about the human body, food is intaken by the mouth. Then inside the mouth, teeth are present. They chew and grind the food. Then tongue is also present inside the mouth, that roll and give you the taste of food and helps in swallowing the food or pushing that down. Then salivary glands are there. 3 pairs of salivary glands are there. They secrete saliva. Saliva converts starch into simple sugar with the help of an enzyme, salivary amylase. Then the food pushes into the esophagus. In esophagus, taking food from the mouth to stomach by its muscles continuously contract and relax. Contract and expanse. Contraction and expansion we can say, and muscles of the esophagus continuously contract and expand, and this movement is called the peristaltic movement. By this the food is pushed further into the esophagus, then it reaches to stomach. Inside the stomach, the gastric glands are present and they secrete gastric juices, pepsin, HCl and mucus. 3 gastric juices are released there: pepsin, HCl and mucus. Pepsin enzyme breaks down the protein. This is the pepsin which breaks the protein. HCl makes the medium acidic. Mucus protects the inner lining from the HCl action, because inner lining of the stomach are very delicate, and if it is destroyed, then blood will come out from the capillaries, and in this way we will have the severe gastric problems. To protect from that, the mucus keeps the inner lining protected. Then the food is pushed further into the small intestine. Small intestine, we have the intestinal enzymes that convert carbohydrate, fat and protein, carbohydrate into glucose, fat into fatty acid and glycerol, and proteins into amino acids. In small intestine, if we see inner lining of the small intestine, it is finger-like projections. All these finger-like projections are called villi. It helps in absorption of food into the blood because inner lining of the villi is directly connected with the capillaries and it absorbs all the digested food and it is absorbed by the capillaries, so it reaches directly to the blood. Small intestine receives secretion from liver and pancreas. From liver it receives bile, which breaks large fat globules into small fat globules, and this process is called emulsification of the fat. Thus, pancreas give pancreatic juices. In that pancreatic juices, trypsin and lipase is present. Trypsin changes protein into peptones and lipase changes fats into lipids. In this way, maximum digestion of food takes place in the small intestine. And then from small intestine, the food pushes by the peristaltic movement into the large intestine, which absorb excess of water present in the food and it removes undigested food through the anus outside of the body. That you can see directly the diagram of human alimentary canal and learn all the parts, because sometime in the examination this alimentary canal is made and A, B, C, D are placed against the different parts. Then it is asked fill these different parts, or sometime directly the alimentary canal is asked to draw the diagram of a human alimentary canal, so that you can learn from your NCERT book or many other books are there. And you have to learn what secretions are received by the small intestine from which glands. That is very important because as I told, reception of secretion from liver. Liver gives bile which breaks large molecules of fats into small, and pancreas is also present near the liver that gives pancreatic juice. Trypsin and lipase is produced, and these are the enzymes which convert protein and fats into peptones and lipids. In this way, we can understand very easily nutrition in animals. I hope you understand this chapter very clearly. In the next slide, I will teach you respiration in continuation of the life process. Thank you.